Hey there, planners. Today I am setting up my work planner, which is an A5 stylogy for the month of November 2021. I'm thinking about end of the year activities, particularly around performance and performance evaluations, both my own and those of my team. And I'm going to be adding in those elements to my work planner this month. So go grab your planners and let's get planning. All right, so we are right here at the end of the year, and I just really cannot believe it. This year has just flown by, and now it's time to start thinking about all those end of the year activities. Question for you: as you are setting up your planning system for work, are you thinking about those end of the year activities that are important for your job? What are those activities? Do you have account closeout activities? Do you have financial activities? Sales tabulation activities? What are all those important activities for you at the end of the year? I would love to hear those down in the comments below, because that will help me make a complete list for myself, because you may be thinking about something I have not been thinking about yet. As always in my work planner, I am starting with a very simple calendar. I just cut it out down to just the calendar part, but this is a free printable from Day Designer. So if you go to Day Designer website, there is a free printable for a monthly calendar on one page, and it does have a Monday start. I believe there's a Sunday start option as well, but I like a Monday start calendar. So that's the one I use. I will also have listed down in the description box below 2 videos that are all about my very favorite free planner printables and where I get those from. I have tons of sites that I have bookmarked, and I check back regularly to see what free printables are there, and really I like free, so I try to stick to that in my planning system. Okay, so let me start by putting in this calendar, and then I will just go ahead and label and date it. And this calendar is really like a reference for me. I put a few activities in here. I write a few activities in here, but I don't, well, that's totally crooked. Okay, so we're going to be crooked this month because now it's already down. Let's see. Yeah, it's down. So we're just going to be crooked this month, and I'm okay with that. Hopefully take your time and put your calendar in straight. So let me pop a sticker in here. This sticker kit actually came from Design Lovely Studio, which is an online Etsy shop where I get a lot of printables from. This is just a printable of monthly calendar headers, and they were extra, so I've been using them in any way. They came in a different sticker kit that I used a lot of items from, so I have been using those as much as possible to try to use up the sticker sheet that I printed and cut. All right, so the way I do this, I will come in and just mark the days. November actually starts on a Monday, which isn't that nice when the month starts on a Monday, if you have a Monday start calendar, which I do. I come in here and just date it, and then I will come back later and put in just those key items that I want to keep track of. And those are things like big staff meetings, big project due dates or timelines, anything really large that I just want to keep in front of me for the month. I will write those in here. And I think I just went one day too far, and I may have to grab my whiteout, because I believe the month of November ends on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. Let me check. All right, yes, November ends on a Tuesday. This is like the setup of bloopers. So my calendar is crooked, and I did add a little bit of whiteout in because I went one day too far. But that is okay. So if you take anything away from this video, take away that when you're setting your planner up, as long as it meets the intention of the functionality you need, you're good to go. All right, so this next page, I am going to divide into 2. And what I like to use this page for is really a master to-do list. And I have been using each side in a little bit different way. So I will use the left side for my own task and to-dos, big items that I need to remember for the month, a running list. I'll also stick items in here that I do not have to do this month, but I learn about for next month or, a future month. And this is kind of how I keep track of it until the following month. So I just keep a running list to do here. As I'm setting up each week and really looking at how I'm scheduling the week, I will come back here and pull from anything in these lists that I haven't already marked off or scheduled somewhere else, like in a future log, or put it in my calendar, things like that. So this is a great kind of brain dump area for things going on in the month. All right, these next 2 pages you've seen me use quite frequently. They are some of my favorite pages. Now, I did grab some washi. I use this for just a little bit of decoration, but also functionally to divide up the pages and be able to see different sections that I'm setting up on the pages. I like to use these pages as a place to brain dump ideas for one-on-ones for my direct reports and my own one-on-ones. So I actually keep like running lists. When something pops to mind, like, oh, I need to talk to, so-and-so about this item, I come to this page and write it down. And then as I go throughout the month, I use this list, this running list, to remind myself of things I wanted to talk about to my team members. All right, so I'm going to plop some stickers in here, and what I'll do is come in and actually write the names of each of my direct reports later, and then keep that running list of what I want to talk to them about as I go through the month. And, this is definitely something you could do electronically. For me, it's just easier to write it down. I always have this notebook with me, and it's easy to come here and see what's on the list. Now, for these 2 boxes, I use these a little bit differently. One of them is for my one-on-one. So I'll use this box for my own one-on-one, and I'll keep a running list of things that I want to talk to my boss about. And then the bottom box I use as a box called Communicate. And this is where I have those key messages that I need to be able to share over and over again this month to various audiences. So it could be during a staff meeting, it could be during a team meeting, it could be during a certain project status update meeting. There are just messages that I need to repeat in several different areas. I keep track of those here and keep a running list. And because I'm keeping this page every month, it is really easy for me to flip back to see, what items need to carry over, what items in the last month did I cover in one-on-ones, and were there any action items, things like that. So these pages are very handy. I've referenced these frequently throughout the month. All right, time for the last 2 pages, and these 2 pages are specific to this month. As I said, I am thinking about end of the year activities, and one of the major activities that's on my mind is performance evaluations, year-end performance evaluations, both my own and that of my team. And so I've got a couple of things I created to help me out this month to kind of get organized and keep track of where I am. The first is called a year-end performance checklist. I made this in a Word document and printed it out. Super simple. I would suggest that listen to what I have here, but then think about what your year-end activities are, and maybe make a checklist like this for yourself if you think it's useful. What I have here is really all around my own performance evaluation and the performance evaluation of my team. So confirming the schedule of year-end activities. So there's a higher level corporate schedule that I need to stay aligned to and plan around. So I want to make sure I understand what that is. It has not, as of the time I am shooting this video, it has not fully been published yet, but I know it's any day it's coming. So then I want to create a calendar of year-end activities. I actually have printed out 3 mini calendars for November, December, and January, because that's kind of the timeline that I know I will be using to complete these items. And I'm going to plug that in here and then keep a list of key dates so that I don't lose sight of what those dates are. I'm going to ask my team to provide me with self-evaluation. So this is a really important tool that I like to use. I like to have my team give me their own evaluations of their own goals because I think that's really important. And what I ask them to do there is to be very balanced, to look at what did they accomplish? Where did they kind of accomplish things that may not have even been captured, sort of above and beyond items? Where did they have challenges, opportunities, or lessons learned? Just giving that very fair and balanced picture. So I will ask them to send those self-evaluations to me, and I will also conduct my own self-evaluation. And I do that whether my supervisor asks for that or not. I always complete my own. I like to create for myself an accomplishments and lessons learned inventory, and that's really part of that self-evaluation. I want to make sure I'm scheduling performance evaluation discussions with my team, with my employees. I will sit down and draft those performance evaluations kind of from my perspective, from what I see that they've accomplished, and that is ahead of the time where they are providing me their self-evaluations. I will send those I will send my own self-evaluation to my boss about 4 weeks ahead of our meeting, and then I send the draft evaluations for my direct reports a couple of weeks ahead of them, at least a couple of weeks ahead of the meeting. Holding those year-end performance review meetings and then incorporating any feedback from the team members as well as items that they've captured in their self-evaluation, and then sending off the final for signature. So that's really 3 months worth of activities. I've left myself some space in here in case I need to add any items if something pops up and I need to add it to the checklist, but I'm going to go ahead and tape these down, and these are going to be a really important part of my work planner for probably the remainder of the year. All right, so now that I've got this set up, I've got the calendars filled in, I can easily come over here and make notes of key dates. So what are your end of year activities that a checklist would really help you kind of get those high level milestones nailed down, have them in your planner, go ahead and plan out and have a visual way to keep that in front of you. What are those activities? I would encourage you, if you have a supervisor, a boss, a manager, or even if you just work for yourself, I would highly recommend that you do your own performance evaluation at the end of the year based on the goals that you had this year. It's so important to do that reset and to capture kind of that balanced look at how was performance, where can we learn, where did we knock it out the park, and make sure we want to celebrate that. I have written my own performance evaluations and submitted those to my leadership for as long as I can remember. And it's pretty amazing. A lot of times those evaluations that I write show up as, at least part of my performance evaluation officially. I just think it's important for you to look critically at your own performance and really capture that feedback. You know better than anyone else what you did this year, and how you spent your time, what you learned, how you grew, what experiences you had, what successes you had, what challenges you had, and how that leads into development opportunities. You know better than anybody else. So I would highly encourage you to take the time to do your own performance evaluation as we're coming into the end of the year, and November is definitely the time to start thinking about that so you can make sure you have the right time allotted to get it done. All right, I really hope that you enjoyed this work planner setup. I hope this gives you some inspiration. I hope you enjoyed the quirky sideways crooked calendar for November and the lesson that, as long as it works functionally for you, that's the most important thing. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to Planning Annie for more content like this, and as always, thanks for planning with me.